They showed up for you guys.
I know. Crazy.
So first, I just have to say, Regina, like, you are just so beautiful and legendary, and we love you. Issa, I have to say, I think I speak for everyone here. You are our best friend in our head. Like,
oh yeah.
Hey, besties.
And Marsai, like, we're so proud of you.
Thanks.
We are so proud of you.
Thank you.
I have a 2-year-old daughter, and if she turns out anything like you, I will be so proud. You are so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I had the pleasure of seeing this film, and it's hilarious. I loved it so much. You guys did an incredible job, and it's really full of so much black girl magic, like literal magic, where Regina, your character, magically transforms into your younger self as a middle schooler. But then also classic black girl magic. You're a woman CEO in the tech field, a black woman CEO. And then on the production side, Marsai, you're the executive producer of this film.
Yeah.
So I want to start with you, Marsai. How do you see this film as an example of black girl magic?
Well, it's basically in the cast, of course, with us, with me just trying to grow my brand and just trying to find my way. And I have so many idols and just people I look up to, which are in this film, Issa Rae and Regina. And I feel like it's just all in the cast. And of course, behind the scenes also with Miss Tina Gordon, which is our wonderful director. And just throughout the whole crew too, so it's all around.
I love that. So for Issa and Regina, how do you interpret black girl magic in your own lives and in work?
You want maybe go first? Yeah. Okay. I think for me, black girl magic is in the support that we have for one another, and I think in the protectiveness that we have.
You took my answer. You knew I was going to say that shit.
Well, yes, you should have gone first. Black girl magic support. You should support my answer. But I really love that we just really go hard for one another. And there's a time right now where people are looking to us for the culture in a way. And I think we are very much about preserving what we have and protecting and making sure that we get the credit that we deserve. And that to me is magic. So yeah, that's my current definition, but it evolves.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we know she agrees. I just would say probably the same thing. You know, I think there's always been a magic in our support system and our sisterhood. And I think the fact that we get to translate that from what we do at home to now being able to do what we do for family and friends, to being able to do that on camera and in film and support like our amazing up-and-coming, like beautiful talent like Marsai, and be able to stand beside each other and lift each other up, that's magical and powerful.
Yeah, love that. So another theme in the film is along the lines of the idea of, like, if you uplift the people around you, you also uplift yourself. Issa, how important is this idea to the evolution of black girl magic as we know it culturally? Like uplifting each other and continuously uplifting each other.
I mean, that's the key to me. That's the reason why I'm here. It's the reason why I'll stay here. I think this, again, going to Marsai, who's Mogul Marsai, like, I think it's so essential to making sure that we stay around and that we don't perpetuate the images that we don't support one another, that we don't, uplift one another. I think that's been the narrative in the black community for so long, of just like this crabs in a barrel mentality. And the reason that we have this content shift today is because we're opening doors for each other and we're holding the door open.
Right.
And I think that that's so crucial.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, you also represent that as a creator, and also making sure that you're making sure the staff, and there's black girl magic behind the scenes, not just forward facing. And that's really important too.
Yeah, and I think shout out to Will Packer, who bought this project at the end of the day and made sure that a black woman and Tina Gordon helmed it and directed it, that 2 black women are the EPs, and that it was a black woman-centric cast.
Okay, so I have a question for each of you. Who are Black women who have lifted you up along your way in your journey?
There's so many. I feel like I have like a big circle of amazing Black women that I look up to all the time, which are one of these two, of course, one of these two. We know we're not competing, guys. Let's not do this here. But it's definitely on my show too, Blackish, which is Tracee Ellis Ross, which she's absolutely amazing. And here she is. No, just kidding. And of course, Yara Shahidi, just seeing her actually grow. I think she's here too, so I can't wait to see her. But it's just all around. And then also Beyonce, Rihanna, just seeing them do their thing too, it makes me a better person every day.
Wow. Yeah.
Why'd you say wow? What happened?
It was inside with us three.
Oh, okay, got it.
Continue with this. I would have to say a lot of the women that she named paved the way. I love Debbie Allen, Ava DuVernay, Mara Brock Akil, Shonda Rhimes was the first woman in her company to buy my first television show at ABC. So she legitimized what I do. And this woman I love to death and think that she's just phenomenal. And a lot of the women that I work with just on my own team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say these two, everyone they've named, I mean, I think all the women that have come before us, you know what I mean, who we've watched on screen, in front of the camera, behind. But, you know, then like teachers that we have, my mother, you know, my aunts, my friends who I call every day after a hard day, and they're like, you know, keep going. Like, I think there's not a Black woman in my, wait, let me think.
Run that back.
But most of the women in my life are incredibly, incredibly amazing. And I think the support system that we give each other, even in those small moments, are really what enable us to keep going and thrive.
Yeah, okay. So the central theme throughout the movie is adults not taking younger people seriously, even though in many cases younger people have stronger sense of self than we do as adults. So there's a quote in the movie that says, when kids are young, they know exactly who they are, and it's the world that beats it out of them. I think a lot of young people can relate to that here. So Marsai, and I'm gonna just continue to say that you're the youngest producer in Hollywood, so just keep reminding people that. I'm sure that you're constantly meeting people that are older than you. You know, and even when you pitch this idea, you're in rooms with people who are older than you. Have you ever felt dismissed by your age? And if so, how do you move past that?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, I started pitching the idea when I was 10. Mm-hmm. So, number one, I was like younger, and I was a small, short Black girl from Texas. They were like, nah, next. You know, that was their first thought. But I think now that they see what I'm doing and they see what comes out of my mind, and it's more of a smart way, then they actually understand where I'm trying to get to, and you can see it in a different perspective, which has totally changed throughout the years, and I'm glad that get to see my vision now in a different light. But how do I move past it? Definitely my friends and my family that just talk to me and is like, no, you got this, you can do this, you're gonna get a lot more no's than yeses, but you just keep on pushing forward, and if this is something that you wanna do, and you can change the game and keep on breaking boundaries.
Yeah, love that. So for Regina and Issa, have there ever been times you've tried to present new ideas in a system that wasn't necessarily ready to receive them?
Well, you know, Issa and I met about, was it 6 years ago? About 6 years ago. And we wrote something. And everyone said no. So we
pitched it about like 6 or 7 times. And we got,
and you know, each time I was like,
no.
this is it.
This is going to be the one.
This is the one.
They're going to say yes.
And one place just didn't even bother to respond.
No, they just left us on red.
So we still feel disrespected. Like, we still feel disrespected. But that's okay, because we know it was good.
It was good. You know, all it took was her, and she paved the way for us to get
Yeah,
something
so now
together.
we're about to follow up. As a matter of fact, I think we should take it to Genius Productions.
No, that's
and
right. Can we
see
picture it? We're going to picture to
your
you.
production company.
Okay.
Okay.
This was like 5, 6 years ago?
All right.
This is like 5-6 years ago, but we're going to make it fresh for you.
Yeah, we're about to
Okay.
reinvent it. We're about to
Got you.
reinvent
Hit me
it.
up.
Okay. So in the film, one of the very first scenes, we see little Regina being bullied in school. As comedians, how do you find the balance between the seriousness of bullying and subtly finding humor within that serious topic?
I mean, y'all were the bullies, so.
Well, you know, I think too, 'cause, little Jordan, that moment that changes you. I think when I watch something on screen, when someone else has experienced it, and I'm like, ooh, I remember that, and they're able to find like a little bit of levity to it, and I feel like I'm on common ground. That's where I feel like you can find the comedy, because you're discovering things that people have. You know, why are you just looking and not helping? You see, I can't articulate it. But you're trying to find, I'm trying to articulate it. You see something in your own life that, she said help her. You see something in your own life that mirrors what's going on the screen, and I feel like that's that small space where you can find the comedy.
Right, right.
And it definitely helps also with like the right team to actually like pull it up to where it's a good balance of both. So of course with Tracy Oliver, which is our wonderful writer, Tina, and just making sure that balance is right and having the great team who actually supports it works really well.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of bullying, it was interesting to see grown-up Regina being a boss, and being simultaneously considered a bully as yourself. Regina, do you think women, particularly women of color, in positions of power and authority, often have to deal with unfair expectations of generosity, and you have to be nice because otherwise you'll be labeled as a bully, or you'll be labeled as a mean girl, or difficult to work with?
You know, I think there's a stereotype, a myth that you know, black women are somehow angry.
Right.
And I think that we're always, you know, I think it's important that we don't mute what we know in order to make people feel like we're not angry. Right. And, you know, obviously being a bully is not, you know, that I think there's a way that we can speak to one another, get what we need without demeaning another human being. But I think, yeah, black women always feel a pressure to not be perceived as that stereotype that we know exists in the world. And so sometimes we kind of mute that assertiveness.
Right. And Issa, do you feel like you've ever had to conform to that, where you have to act a certain way because you're afraid of being perceived as mean or difficult or angry?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually triggering to hear you say that, because there have been moments where I feel like I know that I can't express something the way that I want to express it, that I have to sugarcoat it, because I know that the environment I'm in will label me as the angry black woman or the difficult black woman. And it is frustrating at times to feel like you constantly have to work on how you're going to present something to be able to work again in the future, you know? And I've seen that happen. And I love working with strong black women. I love working with vocal black women. I love working with opinionated black women. There's nothing more refreshing, but I also understand that it's not coming from a place of disrespect or bullying. It is coming from a place of, I know what I want, and so I'm gonna communicate to you what I want. And there's nothing more refreshing than that, and there's nothing more frustrating than knowing that if a white man says it, or if a man says it, period, then it's seen as, oh, this is genius. He's just expressing what he wants, and he's just saying what he wants. And we don't get extended that same courtesy. So that's also why I love to work with us at the end of the day, because we get it, you know?
We understand each other, and we understand that it's coming from a place of love. And,
absolutely.
Yeah. So what was it like having a female director at the helm of this film?
It was amazing. It was so sweet, and especially with Tina. She is so easy to work with, and with this coming from a black women perspective, and having a black woman as the leading person of it, then she understands. She understands where we're coming from in each part. And with some other directors, you kind of have to explain, but with them, with her, she's like been through it before, which was way easier and fun to work with her. So.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
I think she's here.
Yeah, I think she's here.
Tina, stand
There
up.
she
Hey, stand up!
Tina!
She didn't want to get on the stage, though. I'll say that. That's my negative thing. She was like, y'all got it. I directed a movie. Y'all can promote it.
I love it. Okay, so this question is for each of you to answer. Can you think of a singular childhood experience that has shaped your choices as an adult?
Well, I'm 14. I haven't even hit that yet.
A young adult for you, Marsai.
Okay. I'm like, I'm 32, guys. I have to think about that, but definitely when I pitched Little, when I was like younger, I actually didn't feel like I had the confidence to do it because I felt like my voice wasn't heard at the right places. But when I pitched Little and then I met with Will and Kenya Barris, which is the creator of Blackish, and Will Power Packer, I feel like I finally had my voice heard in a different light. So, and then it kind of just grew with me the more I talked to people and the more I got comfortable with myself. So that was the part.
Good answer.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Can you think of a childhood experience that has shaped your choices as an adult?
You want to go? Because I don't know.
No, I was going to use the time while you were talking to think myself.
I wish that I could pinpoint a moment. A lot of the choices that I've made and a lot of the bad choices that I've made have shaped who I am now, but I can't think of one singular moment.
Okay.
Yeah, the same thing. I think, life is a culmination of choices, and when you look back, they all kind of weave together where you are, in your present day. So I don't know that it was, one doesn't stick out.
Okay. So we're going to open it up to questions. I think there's someone in the audience facilitating.
I can't really see in this audience.
I can't see either. Thank you.
Is there someone in the audience facilitating?
Hello, I'm over here.
Okay.
Hi.
Where are you?
I'm right
there
here.
you go.
Hello. So as Black actresses, do you find that there's more hope for Black actresses that are also coming up to work in the industry?
Well, you know what I think? I think as Black creators and producers, there's more hope for Black actresses. I think when we step behind the camera, the reason that we have moments like this is, like we said, because of Will Power Packer, who's able to be in rooms with those executives. Issa, who created Insecure, and obviously the youngest EP in Hollywood. I think being in those rooms and being able to expand the ideas and visions of people who normally make all the decisions allow there to be more opportunities, more roles, and more films, more television shows, et cetera.
Question? Tell me what you think of it.
Right here. Hello? Oh, okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I love you all so much. Oh my gosh. I just wanted to ask you, how do you channel your inner Black girl magic? Just because it's so hard. Like, there's so many different ways to find inspiration, obviously, but like, you guys are a bit older and like social media didn't exist, so I was just like, how did you guys channel your inner Black girl magic?
I think
She
that
just
one
called
was
us
for me.
old.
She just
I
called
was-
us grandma.
I mean, that was like slightly insulting, but you know what? I like you because you said it anyway, so I got love. But I'm gonna let, as the prehistoric person on the stage, I'm like BSM before social media. I'm gonna let them answer because y'all are current.
No, it's for you because she said before social media. So how did you deal with it as a vet?
Wow. Well,
How did you channel it?
Yeah, we used to draw pictures of what we wanted to do in life, you know. No, but I think honestly, the biggest tool you have, even beyond social media, is your imagination. Your imagination creates everything and what you think, how you think.
I chant in the mirror. I say, "Black girl magic." That wasn't a chant. I sing it to myself. But I think seriously, it just comes with a confidence. You know, Marsai mentioned earlier if her family and friends supporting her, and I think that's so central to a lot of my confidence. And that confidence translates into magic.
Yeah, it's definitely a mindset. You have to really put yourself in that situation where you are Black Girl Magic and you can do this, and it kind of boosts your confidence up. So.
Next question.
Hi, first and foremost, I want to say I love you all. You guys are so inspirational. My question is, what do you do when you're dealing with maybe a Black woman, especially older? Right here. Oh, okay. I know. Hi. But what do you do when, there are Black women that are not trying to support other Black women, especially when they might be in positions of power a little bit older than you? Like, how do you deal with that dynamic?
Cover your ears real quick. You don't fuck with them.
Period.
And that's the tea, sis. Bam.
Period.
Is my turn? It's my turn. Hi. Oh, hi. I have a question. Sorry. I'm all the way on this side. All the way. Hi. I love all of you so much. I'm also a Black woman working in entertainment, and feeding off of her question, when Black women and just women in general don't want to support you in the workplace and they happen to be in positions of power, how do you navigate that so that you can still get to where you want to be? I also love your question again.
Shit. You know, then you find someone else who will. You know what I mean? Listen, Black Girl Magic is amazing, but it's some white people out there. You don't have to, I'm saying we don't have to keep it exclusive, you know? So whoever is willing to give you your opportunity, whatever gender or race, you learn from them, you grow from them, absolutely. And then you be the Black girl that doesn't do what the other Black girl did.
Right.
Hi, I'm over here. This question's for Marsai, over here.
Where?
In the back, right here.
Hey!
So how is you meeting the Dolan twins? I'm an extreme Dolan twins fan.
It was so great! I was crying. I cried at the end. It was wonderful. I won't get deep into it, but I annoyed them the whole rest of the day. I was like, you won't believe what just happened. Yeah. Great. It was pretty cool.
I think we have time for one more question.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. I'm right here. Over here. To your right. To your right, ladies. Bring it here. Over here. Bring it over here. Yeah, right here. Hi. Okay, so I'm not going to get too deep because I'm known for that. But as far as unlearning and appearing to be what people like, but then when you get that one-on-one and they find out that you're deeper, you're not talking about what's popular, you really want to change the world. How do you intertwine that with trending topics? How do you change the narrative? You know what I mean? It's not a popular conversation, mental health and doing better for yourself and overcoming the odds. How do you get into that industry and still blossom?
You know what? That's a really great question because you know, I have that. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people who might think I talk about certain things, but you want to be around like-minded individuals who want to create the change that you want to create. So instead of trying to convince people individually, you find a group of people who believe in what you believe in, and together you guys can go out with your platform and you can, you know, be the example that makes people say, wow, I never thought about that. Wow, I want to do that. And then you become like that beacon of light and hope for people who may not have seen the same things you see. And it's okay to be a pioneer in something that maybe the masses aren't thinking yet.
And I think the advantage of being in this age, you know, the age before Regina, is like now you can have
wait, what is it? The caveman days. Go ahead.
Caveman days. No, but I think
Pre-fire.
Seriously, like in seriousness, you can find people will find you. It's all about niche communities, and you could be the voice, like she said, of people who are looking for you, who are looking to hear what you have to bring to the table. And so, as opposed to worrying about like where you fit in, it's just you should think about who's listening to you and who cares about what you have to say now, and use that to leverage something in the future.